I could never do him justice. Let him tell you in his own words. If I may say so myself, I am the greatest seducer of other men's wives that I've ever met. I say this not boastfully, but as a matter of record. The staggering figures speak for themselves. For those of you interested in playing this highly satisfying but often dangerous game, I urge you to take out pen and paper and take notes. I am about to explain my methods. In defense, married women may do likewise, but it will do them little good if they happen to be the chosen victim. My method has never failed. Now then, there are 3 vital characteristics needed. They are patience, more patience, and still more patience. Those of you who do not have the strength to wait and persist, I urge you to take up bicycling. Rowing, perhaps. Seducing isn't for you. Now then, in order to seduce a man's wife, you must, I repeat, must, stay as far away from her as possible. Ignore her if you must. We will get to her through the husband. You are about to witness a practical demonstration, for as it happens, I am madly and deeply in love this week. My heart pounds with excitement, knowing that she will pass through this garden in a few moments with her husband. Every fiber of my being calls out to me to throw my arms around her and embrace her with all the passion in my heart. But observe how a master works. I shall be cool, almost to the point of freedom. My heart of hearts and spouse approaches.
Ah, Peterson, fancy meeting you here.
My dear Nikolaich, how good to see you. You're looking well? Notice how I'm not looking at her.
Thank you. And you, gay devil, you're always looking well. Excuse me, have you met my wife, Irina? Of course you have. You sat next to her at dinner, so that's enough. Irina, I don't know if Miss Chalmers said to at dinner, but I must warn you who is a scoundrel, a notorious bachelor, and an exceptional swordsman. That's the best I can say for you, Peter.
You exaggerate, Nikki. Madam, good to see you again.
We were just taking a stroll. If you're not busy, why don't you join us?
That's very kind of you, Nikolaich. But as a matter of fact, I am riveted to this spot. A new romance has just entered my life, and my legs are like pillars of granite. Until she is out of my sight, I shall be incapable of movement. Too much, do you think? As I said, be patient.
Fantastic. You never cease to amaze me. Pretty, I suppose.
Suppose magnificent. Suppose glorious, and you will suppose correctly.
Any complications?
As usual, a husband. I'm afraid my cause looks hopeless.
Nonsense. I'm placing my money on you, and you know I never bet unless I'm sure of winning. Well, we're off, my boy. Good hunting, my boy. Good hunting.
Madam? Beautifully done, don't you think? I'm sometimes awed by the work of a true professional. Did you notice? Our eyes barely met. We exchanged hardly a glance, and yet how much she knows of me already. A, I am a popular bachelor. B, a man in love, always titillating to romantic women. C, a gifted sportsman, a nice contrast to a sedentary husband. And D, and this is most important, a dangerous man with the ladies. Well, quite frankly, at this point, she is disgusted by me. A, because I'm a braggart and a scoundrel. B, because I'm shamelessly frank as to my intentions. And C, because she thinks she's not the one I'm interested in. Forgive me if I'm slightly overcome by my own deviousness. Oh, by the way, are you getting this down? It gets a bit tricky from here on in. Now then, next step, hypnosis. Not hypnosis with your eyes, but with the poison of your tongue, which like a venomous snake moving in for the kill. And what's more, the best channel of all is the husband himself. Witness as I accidentally run into him one day at the club.
Peter, you're looking glum. I take it your pursuit isn't going well.
Is it that obvious? I'm doomed, Nikki. I haven't seen her since last I met you and your dear wife. I sleep little and I eat less. I've had all my shirt collars taken in a half-inch. Oh, Nikki. Why do I waste my valuable youth chasing women I can never truly call my own? How I envy you.
Me? What's there about me that you envy?
Why, your marriage, of course. A charming woman, your wife, let me tell you.
Really? What is it about her that fascinates you so?
Why, for grace, for quiet charm, everything. But mostly it's the way she looks at you, Nikki. If only someone would look at me like that, with such adoring, loving eyes, it must send quivers through your entire body.
Quivers? No, not really.
A tingle, perhaps. Don't tell me you don't tingle when she looks at you.
Of course, by all means. I do all the time.
She's an ideal woman, Nikki. Believe that from a lonely bachelor. And be glad fate gave you a wife like that.
Perhaps fate will be kind to you.
That's what I'm counting on. Good heavens, I'm late for my doctor's appointment.
What's he treating for?
Melancholia. Please say hello to your extraordinary wife. But I urge you not to repeat our conversation. It might embarrass her fragile sensitivities. Oh, where is the woman for me? I know where. The question is, how soon will she be mine? Well, there is still work to be done, of course, but not by me. That task falls to my aid and accomplice. Oh, by the way, I saw Peter Semyonich today.
Oh, by the way, I saw Peter Semyonich today. Who? Peter Semyonich, the bachelor. We met him in the gardens last week. That attractive fellow. You remember.
I remember what a loathsome man he is.
You may not think so when you hear what he had to say about you.
Nothing that braggart had to say would interest me.
He spoke most enthusiastically about you. He was enraptured by your grace, your quiet charm. You see, he thinks you're capable of loving a man in some extraordinary way. Something about your eyes and the way you look so adorable. You certainly have a lot to say. Went on and on. Well, good night, my dear.
Good night. What else did he say? What else did he have to say about me?
Peter.
Whatever that loathsome man's name is. What else did Peter Semyonich have to say about me?
Well, that's more or less it, what I told you.
Oh, but you said he went on and on.
He did.
But you stopped. If you went on and on, then don't stop. Either go on and on or let's go to bed.
Well, he said how much he envied me, how much he wanted someone to look at him the way you look at me.
How does he know how I look at you?
That day in the garden, he must have been looking at you while you were looking at me. It had tingled through my whole body.
The way I looked at you?
Exactly, my friend.
Oh, but you were looking at him. As a matter of fact, I was looking at the roses because it made me nervous the way he kept avoiding looking at me. You must have tingled for some other reason.
It's getting rather confusing. The point is, he found me fascinating. I thought it would please you.
Well, it doesn't. Do you plan to see him again soon?
Yes, tomorrow for lunch.
Well, I would rather not be discussed over lunch. Tell him that. And you can tell me what he said over dinner. Good night, Nikki.
Good night, my angel.
Good night, my love. I'm spellbound by my own powers. I succeeded not only in piquing her interest, but in causing her heart to flutter at the mention of my name. The same man she called loathsome not 2 minutes ago. And all this was accomplished, mind you, while I was home taking a pine-scented bath. Luncheon the next day was not only nourishing, but productive. Oh, by the way, old man, I ran into Nekrasov yesterday. The artist, it seems he's been commissioned by some wealthy prince to paint the head of a typical Russian beauty. He asked me to look out for a model for it. I said I knew just the woman, but I didn't dare ask her myself. What would you think of asking your wife?
Asking my wife what?
To be the model, of course. That beautiful head. It would be a damn shame if that exquisite face missed the chance to become immortalized for all the world.
For all the world. Really, I see what you mean.
Why don't you discuss it with her?
Good idea. I'll discuss it with her. Well, I said I would discuss it with you. What do you think?
Well, I think it's nonsense. How did he put it to you? I mean, did he actually say a typical Russian beauty?
Precisely. And then it'd be a damn shame if that exquisite face missed the chance to throw more light for all of the world. That's exactly what he said.
Oh, he gets carried away by his own voice. Those exact words, he didn't leave anything out.
Oh, yes. I left out that lovely face. He says that a number of times, I think.
He does go on, doesn't he? How many times did he say it? Once? Twice? What?
What do you think? It's hard to remember.
Well, it's not important. But in the future, I wish you would write these things down.
Have you ever seen me near her? Have you ever heard me speak to her? Has any correspondence passed between us? No, my dear pupils. Yet she hangs on my every word uttered by her husband. Awesome, isn't it? We apply this treatment from 2 to 3 weeks, and her resistance is weakening. Weakening. Weakening.
His mind is elsewhere, if you ask me. There's some other woman who looks at him.
Woman? What woman? Did he mention any woman in particular?
Oh, no. He's too discreet for that. In fact, her good name, Eddie talks. Said he talks of you all day. Poor fool. I'm beginning to feel sorry for him.
It's really none of our concern, Nikki. Did you ask him for dinner tomorrow?
Busy.
Well, the next day then.
Busy.
Next week? Next month? When? Doesn't the man eat?
Says he's involved in a very important project. It'll be months before he can see it. He did say, however, that with patience and persistence, good things will come to him. By the way, he thinks you should go on the stage.
The stage? Me on the stage? Why, in heaven's name?
He said, just a moment. I don't want to miss a moment.
Oh, no, take your time. I want to get it as accurately as possible.
Ah, yes. He said, with such an attractive appearance, intelligent, sensitive, the sin for you just a hot spot.
Oh, dear, he said that?
Ordinary demands do not exist for such women.
Nikki, I don't think I want to hear anymore.
Natures like that should not be bound by time and space.
Nikki, I implore you, please stop.
Then he says, if I weren't so busy, I'd take her away from you.
He said that?
Yes, right there.
Nikki, what did you say to him then? It's very important I know what you said to him then.
I said, take her then. I'm not going to fight a duel over her.
Nikki! You must not discuss him anymore. I'm begging you not to mention my name to him ever again.
But I don't, my love. He's the one who always brings up the subject. In fact, he actually accused me of not understanding you. He shouted at me, she's an exceptional creature, strong, seeking a way out. If I were to urge him, I would put her in a novel. The passionate angel I would call her. The man is weird, definitely weird.
He's writing my love letters, sealing them with kisses, and calls me weird. I ask you. So let's see what we have so far. The poor woman is definitely consumed with a passion to meet me. She's sure I am the only man who truly understands her. Her yawning, disinterested husband transmits my remarks, but it is my voice she hears. It is my words that sing in her heart. There is no room for mercy in the seducing business. Observe how deftly the final stroke is administered. For the faint-hearted, I urge you, look away.
No, Nikki, not another word from him. I don't want to hear it. Nothing.
But exactly. He begged me to tell you nothing. He said he knew because your sweet, sympathetic nature, you would hurt to hear of someone else in distress.
He's in distress.
Worse, he's gloomy, morbid, morose, in the depths of despair.
Oh, why? What's the matter with him?
Loneliness. Says he has no relatives, no true friends, not a soul who understands him.
Oh, but doesn't he know how much we understand him? Doesn't he know how much we appreciate him and commune with him daily? Oh, doesn't he know how much we yearn to be with him? You and I?
I tried to make that clear to him. I again urged him to come home to dinner with me, but he says he can't face people. He's so depressed he can't stay at home. He faces in the public gardens where we met him every night.
What time?
Between 8 and 9. By the way, we're invited to the Boskovics for dinner tomorrow night. Is 8 o'clock all right?
No. Oh, I have to visit Aunt Sophia tomorrow. She's ill. I'll be there about 9 or a little after.
Please, no applause. I couldn't have done it alone. I share that honor with my good friend and collaborator, her husband. He wooed her so successfully that there's no carriage fast enough for her to be in my arms. She ran all the way. Observe. And now for the conclusion. You will understand if I ask you to busy yourselves with your programs or such. These next few moments are private, and I am, after all, a gentleman. My dear angel, at last I can speak the words that I've longed.
No, not a sound, not a word. Please, I couldn't bear it. Not till you heard what's in my heart. The past few weeks have been torment. You've used my husband as a clever and devious device to arouse my passions, which I freely admit that lying dormant these past 7 years. Whether you are sincere or not, you have awakened in me desires and longings I never dreamt were possible. You appeal to my vanity and I succumb. You bestir my thoughts of untold pleasures and I weaken. You attack my every vulnerability and I surrender. I am yours for this image, if you want. But let me add this. I love my husband dearly. He's not a passionate man, not even remotely romantic. Our life together reaches neither the heights of ecstasy nor the depths of anguish. We have an even marriage, moderate and comfortable. And in accepting that condition, and the full extent of his devoted love, I have been happy. I come to you now knowing full well that once you take me in your arms, my life and my marriage with Nicky will be destroyed for all time. I am too weak and too selfish to make that choice. I rely on your strength of character. The option is yours, my dear. Whichever one you choose will make me both miserable and eternally grateful. So I beg of you not to use me as an amusement, although even with that knowledge I would not refuse you. I am yours to do as you will for this moment. If you want me, open your arms and I will come to you. If you love me, turn your back and I will leave and never see or speak to you again. The choice, my dearest, sweetest love of my life, is yours. I await your decision. God bless you, Peter Semyonich. I hope that life brings you the happiness you've just brought to me.
Peter Semyonich, the former seducer of other men's wives. From that day on, turned his attentions to single, unmarried women only, until one day the perfect woman came along, a confirmed bachelor married at last. He is today a completely happy man, except possibly on those occasions when some dashing young officer tells him how attractive he finds his lovely young wife.